All right, so a question I get a lot of times, from students are, what are the angles that we're talking about with the unit circle? And we've gone over the kind of the points, and they kind of understand that for each point we have our main 4 important points. But we got to remember, how do we remember what those angles are for each one of those important points, and then for the other important points of our triangle? So the first thing I always like to do is always remember that we're always going to start from our initial side and on our x-axis. Then, if we rotate, this creates a perpendicular line, meaning we're going to have an angle of 90 degrees. Actually, I'll write that up here. So I'm going to now create an angle of 90 degrees. Well, if I double that, I'm going to have an angle of 180. If I add 90 degrees again, I'll have an angle of 270. And then add 90 again, I have 360 degrees. And therefore, we know that one revolution around a circle is 360 degrees. Now, if I was going to take between 0 and 90, and I was going to cut that in half, we know that we'd now create a 45-degree triangle. So if I just keep on adding 45 degrees to each one of my axes, I can get the midpoint. So 90 plus 45 is going to give us 135. And then 180 plus 45 is going to give us 225. 270 plus 45 will give us 315 degrees. And 315 degrees plus 45, again, will give us 360. So there we go again. Now, the next thing is, what were those other important points? Remember we first talked about our main important point was at 30 degrees. Well, if I know that this is 30 degrees, if I add another 30 degrees, that's going to take me to 60 degrees. If I keep on adding 30 degrees, that'll take me to 90. So I add 30 degrees again, that takes me to 120. Add 30 degrees again, takes me to 150. 150 plus 30 is 180. 180 plus 30 is 210. 210 plus 30 is 240. 240 plus 30 is 270. 270 plus 30 is going to be 300. And 300 plus 30 is 330. 330 plus 30, I think I might have said some things wrong, but 330 plus 30 is going to give you 360. So the important point when you're trying to determine what the angle is, the main important thing is to look at your first 4 quadrants. If you want to find an angle in terms of 45, just keep on adding your 45 degrees around. If you want to find which angle it is in terms of your 30 degrees, just keep on adding 30 in your 30-degree increments, and that hopefully will help you out to find the angles of the unit circle. Thanks.